Good evening, colleagues. On behalf of executives, I wish to officially welcome us all to this evening's event. I'm Audrey Sababonsu, and I'll be your moderator for the event. This is our last CPD. This is our last event for the year, and we officially welcome you all. So I think we would all believe that times are getting challenging, and it's important for us to, remain relevant in the healthcare profession and to increase our value to our patients, increase our value to our employers, and increase our value to even ourselves as professionals. And it's on this backdrop that we, the executives of the PSG Greater Accra, saw the need to put together this CPD so that we can enhance our knowledge and our skill sets. And the topic for today is that we want to leverage our role as pharmacists for impact. And we are looking at the fact that we want to harness our soft skills to enhance our technical expertise. And I would admonish all of us to be fully participatory, to fully engage. And then, because we believe that there's a lot of take-home messages from our facilitator, who is a very experienced senior colleague in the industry. Great. So then we'll officially commence with an opening prayer by Lady Farm Nakwali. Sorry, my mic was muted. So next we have a welcome address by our chairperson, Farm Stephen Buna.
Thank you very much, Audrey, for the opportunity. Good evening, colleagues, pharmacists. And I also again want to welcome you all to our last regional meeting and the CPD training for the year 2022. As has been our tradition, anytime there's a meeting, we want to tie it in with a CPD. We want to thank God for how far He has brought us, to observe a minute's silence to the memory of our dear colleagues whom we lost during the year in review. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Amen. Some activities were organized during the year to help achieve our objectives of enhancing the image of the profession and also to help our members to enhance their professional knowledge. These activities happen both in person and virtually. The professional knowledge enhancement took place mostly on virtual platforms, while the pharmacy image enhancement happened in the media and physically in churches. We went to the Union Ghana, and also we were on the streets during the launch of the World Pharmacist Day celebration. We had the opportunity to educate the population on ETV, on obesity, which was the project that the PSGH has chosen for the year. So we had a physical interaction with some churches in Accra, as well as some senior high schools, to educate them on obesity. And we, in fact, also did some actual screening for obesity. We also had the opportunity to educate some students from the West African senior high on the use of on antimicrobial resistance during the World Antimicrobial Awareness Week celebration. We'd like to thank those who participated in these exercises, and going forward, we encourage every member within the Greater Accra region to actively participate in the region's activities. Our practice and interest groups also carried out many activities for pharmacists within the region, and we say echo to all of them. We look forward to more of these activities in the coming year. I wish to thank my regional executives for their unflinching support during the year in review. I must say that, as the moderator said, we as a region recognize that we are a region, so we coordinate the activities of all the interest and practice groups. So anytime we choose a topic for CPD, we ensure that it cuts across all these practice and interest groups so that everybody will benefit out of that. From our last GB meeting, which will happen just before the question and answer, that's when our presenter finishes with the main activity for the day, so that members will be updated on some of the things that they need to take home and be abreast with. On that note, I'd once again thank everybody. And I want you to fully participate, get what you're supposed to get. So at the end of the day, we enhance our image through the services that we render, which we always seek to be the highest in the interest of our patients. Well, thank you once again and enjoy the evening. I will definitely come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for such an elaborate, welcome address. We are and we admonish all our colleagues in the region to fully participate when some of these activities unroll. All right, so we'll dive right in. Our facilitator is a pharmacist with over 25 years of experience in the pharmaceutical industry. He is the managing partner for Blazing Impacts Consult Limited and the principal consultant and the COO at Lead It Africa. Both organizations are workplace performance improvement consultancies focused on leadership development, business and personal effectiveness, and coaching. I believe you would all agree with me that we have the right man for the occasion. He's in the person of Dr. Isaac Edukong. Please help me welcome him. Isaac, you're on.
Thank you very much, Audrey. Excited to be with colleagues, getting to the end of the year. Should we say the end of the year? I am happy for the opportunity to share the little that I have gathered over the times for the area that I found myself in. And to Chairman's point again, we want to see how we can arm ourselves on top of what we already have as pharmacists, as professional pharmacists, to even make ourselves better. In the next 45 minutes, I hope I will not go beyond that. I would like to engage you on what I see as what else do we have to bring into the space to make our profession even more impactful beyond our technical knowledge that we have learned from school, that we have gathered from courses that we have attended, that we have done certifications. And so we have for the topic today, leveraging our impact as pharmacists. What other options are available beyond our technical knowledge and expertise? For me, I am excited on this topic because I am a very impact-oriented person, so to speak, results-oriented person, that at the end of the day, we would like to assess and evaluate our impact through all that we do. And so I answer questions like, it's not just about what you are doing, but it is about the outcome of what you are doing. So this topic was carefully chosen, and we are hoping that at the end of this session, we will be able to have a clear plan that will help us to develop our soft skills, not for the fun of it, but so that we will be able to actively leverage our impact as professional pharmacists. Let's keep this objective in mind in the context of what we are discussing. It will be great to assess this objective when we are done with our discussion. And to do that, I will take us through or share with you some of the things you already know, but probably we look at them from different perspectives. In the context of our profession, in the various practice groups, we would like to look at what soft skills are. Why do we have to bother about soft skills? That is the relevance of it. And how do we actually effectively develop soft skills? Effectiveness is the word here. And then we will see if we can put an action plan that will take us to developing the soft skills as we may need them for our various practices. For those of you who probably are meeting for the first time, I always take opportunity for my introduction to do a funny differentiation. So when you are traveling outside the country and you get to the airport and you have to fill that form, the immigration form, there is a column that says profession. And so normally I joke with them. I say, which one do you want? Do you want my profession or you want my occupation? And I say, yes, I am a trained pharmacist. So professionally, I'm a pharmacist, but I'm occupied by a number of things. And so for my training beyond pharmacy, my mainstay is in seeing individuals and organizations becoming the better version of themselves beyond their technical expertise. So that is a little history about me. For those who got the opportunity to see the teasers before the presentation, there was a case study of Farm Andrew and Farm Mercy. If you didn't see it, we can just look at it together shortly. Andrew and Mercy are both pharmacists at Adikamba Hospital. So incidentally, Andrew and Mercy graduated from the same school in the same year with the same qualification, which is a second class upper. So Andrew runs a community pharmacy with his wife, whilst Mercy does a locum with a neighborhood community pharmacy. Now, Mercy's presence during her locum period seems to generate lots of patient-client visits, and at the hospital, other healthcare professionals have confessed to preferring to rather work with Mercy as they perceive her collaboration to yield more positive patient outcomes. Andrew is very sharp on his facts and science, and many healthcare professionals rely on his technical expertise and inputs. But they would rather work with Mercy if they had a choice. Patients and clients have also seemed less comfortable engaging with Andrew, and this is making some healthcare professionals hesitant in involving Andrew when it comes to patient relationships and engagement. And this seems to affect patient outcomes. So the background of this case study, or should I say the rationale of this case study, is to cement the fact that it is not too difficult once we all go through the curriculum or go through the course to become pharmacists, at least at the first degree. Once we all go through it, it will be difficult for one pharmacist to know exceptionally too much than another pharmacist. So in terms of technical knowledge, the differentials may not be too different, even if there is any. So in Andrew and Mercy's case, they have the same background, qualification, they came out with the same class, and it appears Mercy seems to be having more impact than Andrew, even though they have similar technical expertise. So the question I ask, across our different practice areas, from community pharmacy, which everybody seems to have a hand in. If you are not in now, you may get in later. Industry practice, academia, regulation, across the practice group, we all know one or two pharmacists who probably seem to be having more impact within the practice group when you compare with his or her colleagues. And it may not be a case of their pharmacists knowing more. It may not be the case of their pharmacists having more exposure. The question I want to ask is, what could be missing? There seem to be more to ensuring and enhancing professionalism and impact in particular beyond our technical expertise and knowledge. And that is what we want to look at this evening. So we will be discussing together, sharing knowledge together to see what else is in the horizon that we can add to our technical knowledge and expertise to even make us more impactful. To that end, if you can interact with your comment section, I'm asking, what other factors could make one pharmacist come across as being more impactful than another pharmacist? Let me see your comments. You can type in if you have access. What other factors can we count on? What other factors could make one pharmacist seems to come across as being more impactful, as having more results than another? I'll be interested to hear your comments. Please type in the comment section. Okay. We hope that you will get the dexterity around technology to give in our comments. I'm not having any yet. I haven't seen any yet. And then if really we had any from you, they would not be different from what we generally call soft skills. By the time we are through with our discussion, we want to be answering the question of why we call it soft skills. Are they really soft? Why do we call them soft? And what are they actually? And to what extent should we be interested in these skills? So now I seem to have some comments already. Yes, good communication skills, good human relationships. So people are saying, yes, when you have good communication skills, it will make you more impactful. When you have good human relationships, it will make you more impactful as a pharmacist. I hear you, Farm Grace. So most of the things that we may be referring to will fall into the bracket of soft skills. And what are they? There are several definitions. So this evening's discussion will not be about definitions. It is really about us understanding what we need to do differently that will make us more impactful, no matter which practice group we find ourselves in. So soft skills have two components. There is the personal part, which is focusing on what you are personally doing, whether there are people around you or not, which fits into your attitude, traits, and mindsets. And then the big one is on your interpersonal skills. So the point here is you have all the knowledge, you have all the expertise. If the expertise is not being benefited by another person, by a third party, you are said not to be impactful. If the way you approach with your knowledge and expertise, the way you think about your knowledge and expertise, and the way you are perceived for people around you, they don't see a benefit, you are said not to be impactful. So we will try and look at these two arms within soft skills and try and find some very simple ways to acknowledge and actually identify within ourselves which soft skills are we targeting and which ones do we find ourselves going into the space to actually leverage. Thank you from Mary Irizu. Yes, good interpersonal skills, I see them here. So definitely it is clear that we have an idea, and at the end of this session we hope that we will be able to grasp them cleanly. So the technical expertise as we know them, we call them the hard skills. So hard skills are the technical knowledge and skills that we learn in school. Normally you obtain them through education and hands-on experience. The soft skills are developed through your entire life experience. And over time, it's been noticed that, yes, you can actually deliberately practice and learn soft skills. So I don't know if anybody has attended a 2-year course on soft skills that he came out with an upper class of soft skills or something like that. This is the point about why we call it soft. It is called soft because it is not easy to measure. It is not easy to quantify, and it is not easy to evaluate. For this reason, it's been given the name soft, as compared to the hard skills, which are very easy to measure. So if you finish pharmacy school and you have your degree, it is very clear you're a pharmacist after passing your exams. It is measurable, easy, you have a certificate to show. That is why hard skills are specific to the job, because they are very easy to define. Unlike hard skills, soft skills are applicable across all job specifications. So the security man will need soft skills. He may not need pharmacology to be a security man, and he will need soft skills. Just like the CEO will also need soft skills, although he needs a different hard skills for the position that he is occupying. In recent times, Employers have become aware of the relevance of soft skills, and therefore, in job descriptions, they include some of these very important soft skills for the relevance that it has gained. Now, I want to help do, should I say, an analogy to help us understand if it will help. On the personal side, we seek to be resourceful, and I will talk a little bit more about resourceful. Resourcefulness means that you are able to deliver results within the resources that you have, and even when you don't have the resources, you are able to find a way to deliver the results. And you need all these soft skills. You need a good time management. You need to be a critical thinker. You need to be creative in thinking to be able to find the different ways. You need to have a problem-solving skills such that when we need the results and there is an obstacle, you are able to solve the problem for the results that we need. So all these set of soft skills, for example, will probably fall in the personal space, the personal soft skills as we call them. Then on the flip side is the interpersonal or social soft skills as we call them. And the major hub there is communication. Like we say, if you wake up one morning and everybody in the world is dead, everybody in the world is dead, you are the only one left in the world. Across the globe, you are the only one left, and nobody is coming back. You will be the only one left. I'm wondering how life will look like. And in a number of cases, people have said, then me too, I have to die and go. So it just means that we live not for ourselves, we live because another person is available. And it is the impact we have on the other person that makes us call ourselves impactful or effectiveness. So resourcefulness helps us to drive the results. And there are a few things that we need to do with other people, not to other people. There are a few things we need to do with other people to be able to enhance our resourcefulness. So a little bit details into resourcefulness. This is a definition I picked from indeed.com. So your resourcefulness will be your ability to find ways to deliver expected results with resources that you have, and you are able to also access resources that you don't have. If you look at the definition closely, I'm going to ask a question. There are 4 components as I see in this definition. I would like you to look at it and share what components do you see in this resourcefulness definition. Let me see your responses and answers in the comments. There are 4 things that a resourceful person seeks to do. That is to say, there are 4 things that resourcefulness brings into the space. What are these 4 things that, if you can see any here? Let me see your comments in the comments box. Okay, as I wait for your comments, a few I can share with you. The first one has to do with results. So the key focus of resourcefulness has to do with results. So an individual who focuses on results, fantastic. I see, from God bless, yes, access results, resources, and deliver, yes, delivery. These are strong components as you see. So the first thing is the resourceful person never loses focus on the results that we need. And it is a soft skill. Beyond that, the resourceful person finds ways, to deliver the results. So there is little excuse for a resourceful person. He doesn't say things like, I have not done it before, so I can't do it. There is no way we can do this, or this is the only way I can do it, and it's not happening. The resourceful person finds ways, and it is a mindset. We will look further into that. The resourceful person optimizes resources. That means the resources, the set of resources that he has, he makes the best use of it and deliver the results. And when he doesn't have resources, the resourceful person find ways to access resources so that he can use it to deliver the results. In simple terms, if I want to take them one by one, for example, I think the first thing you would like to look at for any venture, project, or event is what are we trying to achieve, and that is the results. If you lose sight of the results, if you lose sight of the reason, if you lose sight of your why, then it becomes very difficult to be resourceful in the first place. Because whatever you may be doing, if it doesn't land in the desired results, it is not acknowledged. So resourceful people, they do not lose sight of results. In fact, that's the first question they ask anytime they are given an assignment. You know, because human beings, we identify ourselves with what we do, we normally give instructions in this doing language. Go and buy coconut. A resourceful person will ask, although I know generally, if I buy coconut, you are supposed to be drinking the water or eating. What if I want to buy the coconut for something else? So a resourceful person always asks questions about the why of the doing. So results is key, is one big component in resourcefulness. The other big component, as I talked about, is the resourceful person finding ways, not restricting himself to the way that he only knows or that he only has heard about. There are always ways either you are not exposed to or either you are not aware of, and the resourceful person has an open mind to engage beyond what he already knows or what he knows from others or readings that he has done. So this is a very critical trait of a resourceful person, and it is a soft skill. The next one is the resourceful person optimizing the resources that he has. So this guy wants to climb the wall to the other side. That is his resource area. His resource area is to be on the other side of the wall. He has the resources. He has a lot of ladder that he can use one of them to just climb over the wall. And he's not optimizing the resources. So your ability to optimize resource is one great trait of a resourceful person. And the last one is the resourceful person not having resources and seeking resources beyond what he already has. So when you don't have the resources, it is not a reason not to achieve your results. And we have all been there before across our practice area. Normally you hear there are no funds, there are no resources, there are no materials, there are no tools. Not a single person or an organization or any team of people have all that they need to deliver the results they want. It is for this reason that this particular soft skill currently is the number one sought after soft skill by employers, resourcefulness. Because no company will ever have everything they need. Even if they provide everything they need, the circumstances change and they may need other resources. So this fourth point comes in very handy into the other arm of soft skills, which is communication. So when you don't have the resources, somebody may have. For everything that you don't have, somebody may have. And your ability to engage that somebody to be able to tap into his or her resources will be your resourcefulness. And so the two arms actually are interconnected, and you connect the resourcefulness, your personal resourcefulness, through your effective communication. So I want to stress on the last point because we are translating into the communicating bit, which is the interpersonal skills. So when your interpersonal skills is low, you are able to probably leverage on delivering results when you have resources. You are able to leverage on being creative, finding different ways to do it. And sometimes you need a certain resource that somebody has. And that will depend on your ability to communicate. And that is what brings us into the space of the interpersonal skills. So the art of persuasion, teamwork, conflict management, openness to criticism, and in the current form, emotional intelligence, for example, they are all means to tap into others' resources so that we can have a certain result that we want. This is why soft skills has become so critical beyond our hard skills, or should I say beyond our technical knowledge and expertise as we have them. So finding ways to deliver the results, optimizing your resources, and then accessing resources beyond what you have. These four components are the key personal soft skills that you will want to plan to develop them deeply to be able to be more impactful in the space that you have. We have all been there before. A patient comes looking for a certain medicine, you don't have it in your community, for example. Your ability to communicate to a colleague elsewhere and get the colleague persuaded to give you the medication for the patient in front of you is a typical example. So sometimes the patient stands in front of colleagues and all they have to say is, sorry, I've been here, without making any effort to assess where else can I explore for the patient. I'm using a very simple example. In an extreme case where you have to engage certain people, and because of potential conflict that you may have with these people, sometimes you just let it go. The point here is that you have not lost your technical expertise. Your knowledge is intact. You know exactly what to do to this patient. The only thing stopping you from being impactful to this patient is your limited soft skills, which is your communication in this case. So it is not the lack of resources that cause failure. It is the lack of resourcefulness that causes failure. Tony Robbins is one of the motivational speakers and entrepreneurs. I mean, for those of you who like to follow him, it has been grounded in social experiments that clearly employers are looking for people with resources because they know they will deliver the results without overly obsessing over whether there are resources or not. So in all our practice areas, we have the opportunity to apply our resourcefulness in areas that we find ourselves. The bottom line language resourcefulness is that no excuse, because the excuses, they fall in the three. Either I don't know any other way to do it, or I don't have the resources to do it, or I don't have enough resources to do it. And these are excuses if your resourcefulness is not up. If your resourcefulness is up, using the last lap, you have the opportunity to tap into your communication. So I'll spend a few minutes. We all know about communication. Not much to be belabored upon here, but I would like to see if you want to spot one or two topmost communication challenges for you as a pharmacist in your practice. What could they be? Can I see you put them on the comment side? What could be your topmost communication challenge if you want to share with us. Let's hear from you. Okay, I still wait for your challenges in there. And I would like to start to discuss communication from a certain angle. We have looked at all these processes demand that we have an effective communication. And the question to really ask is, what is effective communication? What will you see to make you say, yes, this communication has been effective? There are two major components in communication, which is intent and impact. The intent is what you seek to do, the thing you intend to have happen. And then when you have done that, whatever happens is the impact. Yes, Nancy shares one of her communication challenges is language barrier, for example. Yes, language can be a barrier in having an effective communication because you will not have the impact that you are looking for. So the key measures, especially when it comes to communication, has less to do with what you are doing and more to do with what the impact is. I will say it again. Because we always look at what we are doing, we feel that once we have done what we are supposed to do, we have finished our communication. Communication is said to be incomplete and ineffective if the impact is not established or elicited. So when your intent is not equaling the impact, you may not call your communication as complete or as effective. And we find ourselves saying this all the time, like, I've communicated to them. As for me, I have communicated to them. And today we are sharing knowledge that you can only say you have had an effective or complete communication when the impact of your communication is established. So when I say, please get up from the chair, without seeing you getting up from the chair, I cannot go out and tell somebody that I have communicated to you. This is what is happening. So when we have as a mindset, as a soft skill mindset, that you are responsible somehow for the impact of your communication, then you will pay particular attention to what is happening and not attention to only what you are doing. This is a very powerful foundation for those of you who are keen in improving your communication as a soft skill. We have mentioned the power of communication. It gives you the avenue to access resources that you don't have. It gives you the avenue to influence. It gives you the avenue to get other people to give you the things you don't have, to support you, and to actually help you to your own planned destination. This foundation is very key and important for us to share. And it happens for a reason. Between what you intend to do or what you intend to say and the impact of the person who is listening, a lot of things happen. We all know about this. The real rationale behind today's session is not going to the theory of communication. It's to share insights and some of the simple things we can do to quickly turn around and add on to our technical expertise and know-how to make us more impactful. The gap between what we have grown to know versus what others have grown to become always creates a barrier between what we intend and what the impact they have. So somebody, Bernard said, for example, language barrier. If throughout my life, I know only one language and the other person also knows a different language, that is a gap already. So without the person knowing that I don't understand his language, He may just say whatever he says and go and tell whoever sent him that I have communicated. So the real measure of effective communication is in the impact and not in the intent. That is exactly what I want to share. So what you said may not be exactly what the other person heard. And sometimes it's very difficult to accept this. That you said something and somebody says, sorry, that's not what you said. So no, I said it. I know what I said, and that is what I said. And it is true. The truth of the matter is that what is said may not necessarily be what the other person heard. And a good communicator accepts this easily. So whenever there is a conflict, we are running on a conflict on the assumption that what we said as our intent is exactly what was heard. We will find a few examples to share. Looking at you as a speaker, if you are the one speaking, if you are the one doing the conversation or talking, you only know what you are saying. You don't know what the other person is hearing. This is a very simple and deep fundamental thing that anybody who is passionate about communication would like to run with it. It makes you comfortable when people disagree with you. It makes you comfortable when people don't see things in your perspective. So it reduces arguments, it reduces conflicts, because you know and understand that maybe the person did not hear it the way you said it, and therefore you will seek to understand further. Now, if you are the one listening, you must also bear in mind that you only know what you heard, and that you don't really know what was said. Technical as it may sound, let's think about it. So, for example, we make statements like, you said I should do 1, 2, 3, 4. And the truth is that you don't know what the person said. You only know what you heard. So good communicators speak in a certain way. They would rather say, I heard 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of you said 1, 2, 3, 4. They would rather say, I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of you did 1, 2, 3, 4. They would rather say, I am not making myself clear, instead of you don't understand, because you only know what you are saying. So good communicators are always seeking to understand, because they know that possibly whatever transpired may not be what was heard. And so this is one of the very fundamental elements in communication. If we get this, we are good to go in terms of improving our soft skills, with particular reference to communication. And the only way to know what someone is intended is to ask. So you ask more questions to understand what the person intended, so that the intent will become the same as the impact that he wanted or she wanted. So generally in communication, we call something the 3 V's. There are the words that we are saying, that is verbal, what we say. People hear the words we speak, and they don't only just hear the words we speak. In fact, what they hear more is the tone, the quality, the pitch, the volume, and the variations we give to our voice. They hear even more of that than the words that we speak. And on top of that, what people see. So communication is a mix of all this. Imagine you wake up in the morning, you just set out of your house. You have not talked to anybody. You are just going or somewhere. Somebody can be in his window. He will just look at you the way you are walking and just start insulting you. So you are not in charge of the impact of your intent. The only way you can assess is to ask. Now let's see the implications of these 3 V's. This study I will show you after here. Most of the time, we focus so much on what we are saying, which is the content. We believe that the content is the most important part of our communication, especially when it comes to verbal communication. And you'll be surprised to know the differences or the impact of how people perceive what we say or what we do. So how we say it and what we say is the process. So the two things in communication is the content and the process. The content is what you say. So everybody can say anything that they want. If you tell me to go and tell somebody to get up, it is not difficult for any other person to go and say get up. The difference will be how I will say the get up and how the person who is supposed to get up will see me. That will be the impact of whether I will get the results I want or not. And to the point, we are saying you can be anything. You can be the topmost pharmacist in your practice group. You can be the person with the highest grade point. They all lie in the what, in the content. And what will turn things around is the process, which is how we say it and how our body language is also showing us up. So this study was done by Professor Merabian. He's a psychologist, way back 1939. There has not been another study that has come to contest this. You'll be surprised that the words that we speak in terms of the impact of our communication is just 7%. What really caused people to be persuaded, what really caused them to do what we want them to do, is how we speak, which is the vocal, the pitch, the rise and fall, and what they see us do, even as we speak. It is very, very instructive to know that as much as 93% of our communication success depends on these two. The irony of the situation is we are all so home and bent on the what of the communication. We all know about Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean doesn't say a word, but he's very strong on the visuals, and we all understand him. This is a big take home for us. It is good to know, and more importantly, what you may want to focus on is how you are saying what you are saying and how your body language is showing off even as you are saying it. And this actually also applies in written communication. The way you put your words, the sequence of words sometimes portray and show the kind of voice, if you had to speak, how it will come across. So words are not enough, as they say, and actually they mean very little when you want to have an effective communication. For those of you who are interested in further reading, this is a very easy book to read, How to Talk to Anyone. Find space, find time. You can get the online copy. If you want a hard copy too, you can have it. I recommend for everyone. So what happens here is that if you are the speaker, learn to project your right body language. And if you are the listener, you learn to pay attention to what you are seeing and what you are hearing. Because the how of what you hear seems to have more impact than the how. So for example, the session we are having now, I was having a discussion with the team earlier on. If you are having an online session and you cannot see anybody, for example, and they can only hear your voice, it means they are relying a lot on how you are inflexing your voice. Whether you will make an impact on them or not has less to do with the words that you are using or even the words that you are showing, and more to do with what they see on the slide and what they see you do if they can see your video as well. So when we put the two together, you need your resourcefulness to be able to deliver results. So time management is a way of being resourceful. It means you have 24 hours. Everybody has 24 hours. Why do some people get more out of the 24 than others? because they are more resourceful. You use your critical thinking to check which other ways. You use your problem-solving skills to see what obstacles you can overcome in order to deliver the results. And you use your creativity to bring in new resources. The communication bit is to tap into other people's resources for the results that you want. So if you're a business leader, your resource is in what people do. How are you able to effectively communicate so that they do what you expect them to do to feed into your results? So it is very critical, should I say very important, that we pay attention beyond our technical knowledge and expertise into our soft skills. I've given enough reason why soft skills are very important for us. A summary of that will be: 1, soft skills is a force multiplier or enhancer on our hard skills. So once you have finished a certain course, a certain degree, a certain course, so to speak, your hard skills are intact. The difference between whether you will make an impact versus another person will depend on how sharp your soft skills are. You are talking about your resourcefulness, and you are talking about your communication in all the different facets. This is one of the most powerful reasons why we need to pay attention to our soft skills. The other reasons: it helps you to achieve your career success at a very early stage, especially for our younger colleagues here. Finishing school, you are quickly going into masters and going to other degree courses, which is very good. You may even enhance your chances of getting to your career success faster if you pay a little bit more attention to your soft skills. When you get into an organization right after school, the difference between you and your colleague you finish school with will probably come out within how you demonstrate your soft skills. The third reason is that it is a transferable skills. So once you develop your good soft skills, for example, you don't need a new soft skill when you change job roles, for example. Communication, effective communication, is powerful over the time. And so when you develop it, you probably may not need another new course to develop it because you are now in a new job role. You may need to sharpen it, yes. You may need to make it even more enforceable. The good news is that the earlier you get to it, the more entrenched and the more powerful you become in it. The last bit is that generally, soft skills make you better at just about everything that you have to do, because results matter in life and people matter. We need results. We need your resourcefulness for results, and we need people to help deliver the results as we have them. In the recent study as has been done, this is from HRGH. When HR managers were asked which one is more important to hire, they said yes, if you have some soft skills, it gives them a 30% chance if your hard skills is so bad. And if your hard skills is all that you have, your chances are probably not more than 8%. And if you have a combination of that, that is what they think they are looking for. Over 90% say soft skills matter as much or even more than hard skills. So it is to say that hard skills is not more important than soft skills. The other way around is also true, and that you need both. From where I sit, I will always say that the soft skills probably will be like the wheels of the car. No matter how powerful the car engine is, no matter how nice the seat, the leather seat and the steering and the gearing is, if the wheels don't move, the car cannot move an inch. So you need both. Most of the time, we ignore or downplay the soft skills because it is not easy to measure. Just like when you are going to buy a car, you go to the showroom. The first thing you will check will not be the wheels of the car. You take it for granted. And the truth is that you need it for your deliberation. So a few things I will share with you in how you will develop your soft skills. These are the 4 things. Identify your desired strengths and their weaknesses. And that is what this session is trying to help us to do. It is not enough. You need to create an action plan. So in deciding your strengths, 2 things come to mind. Check on the things that you seem to be good at, the things that people are saying you are good at, and in addition to that, you also want to look at the things that you love doing. In the space that you find yourself, in the role that you find yourself playing, you may find that there are some soft skills you need to pay attention to, like creativity, like persuasion, like problem solving. You are the only one who will know. Create a plan. Don't let it be, oh, okay, I know and I'll work on it. They say if you fail to plan, you are actually planning to fail. So identify the weaknesses and the weaknesses and strengths and plan for it. Now you have to get to work. Don't let it be on paper that these are the soft skills I'm going to work on. You learn to cut a tree by cutting the tree. So go right into it and start to work on it. Soft skill, it is a skill. There is no shortcut to a skill. You cannot go and hide somewhere that you are learning the skill. Soft skill is about doing it. You need to be doing and doing so that you acquire the skill. Just like you see me on the football field. I try my hands on this for a number of years, and I have these fake football skills that I have. I should have been in Qatar, you know. So the bit about practice. Practice does not make perfect. It is deliberate practice that makes perfect. And 2 things are very important there. You need to schedule the practice and you need to intentionally practice them. If you say, okay, from tomorrow, anybody I meet, I will say that I am not making myself clear. Instead of saying you don't understand. Precise, find a schedule, find a situation. Let's say every Monday you have a meeting. So you use that as your schedule. That on Monday meetings, this is how I'll be practicing my soft skills. So every Monday you pay particular attention until it becomes unconscious and automatic to you. Find space, environments that will help you to continue to practice on your soft skills. And one of the most powerful ways is coaching. Finding opportunity to be coached, either peer-to-peer coach. You can even be coached by your junior, and sometimes you want to seek a professional coach, which means that you are specific about some soft skills and therefore you want some development on it. This is one of the most powerful tools that are being used to establish soft skills. So neither soft skills nor hard skills is more important than the other. We need both to be impactful. At Blazing Impact and Lead It Africa, we support individuals and organizations with developing and, more importantly, establishing their soft skills and help them leverage their expertise. So for those who may be into the contacts, I think we'll share with you later on. In closing, we have been able to look at what soft skills are, the relevance of it, and how to effectively develop it. My call to action is for you to have a plan to develop your soft skills so that you'll be able to leverage your impact as a pharmacist in whatever practice group that you find yourself. It is my greatest call. And at this stage, I would like to end here and ask for suggestions, input, and comments. I think before that, the chairman, Greater Accra chairman, has a few announcements to make. Yes, chairman.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Ike. Now, we shouldn't be complaining
So much.
about people are not coming for meetings. It may be that we are not probably communicating.
Clearly.
Mr. Chairman, you are right. We are all learning every day.
Sorry, I'm having some interference here. I hope I'm on.
Yes, we can hear you very clearly.
Okay. So, as I said, going forward, probably we may have to look at how we communicate. Now, we can't be complaining about the fact that people are not attending our program. Maybe they are not hearing us from the
Exactly.
way we speak to them. This has really been impactful. A few announcements that I'd like our colleagues to pay attention to. One is that we want colleagues to be aware that going forward, that next year, 2023, regulation is going to be tightened. So we encourage colleagues to be at post at all times, wherever they find themselves, to avoid any disparate measures that may be taken against some of us when we are not found at where we are supposed to be. So that's the first one. Then the second one is that our executive secretary has posted the minimum, that the recommended minimum remuneration for our services as farmers. There are those of us in the community. So we like to encourage all our members. Now we know that we have skills, and those skills has to be paid for and paid for well. Another issue is on the PHGs has partnered Glyco to provide pharmacists with some form of health insurance. So we are encouraging all members of Greater Accra to subscribe to this Glyco insurance so that you have something to cushion us in case any unexpected thing happens. I'd like to say that last year we planned forming a group there's a WhatsApp group for the various year reps. And this is to enhance the way we gather information from all our constituents and also the way we disseminate information to our constituents. So probably with this, I would like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Going forward, we have to look at how we communicate so that we get more members finding interest in the activities of the region. So, Madam Moderator, I think you can take it out from here. If there's anything that you think I can come in, I'm on standby. Thank you very much.
You are muted. Audrey, you are muted.
I can't believe it. I was just talking and talking. Great, great, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Farm Isaac Dupont, for such an insightful presentation. I mean, for me, my take home message was that soft skills are just like the wheels of a car, I mean, the tires of a car, whereby they are usually overlooked, but without it, the car can never move. So they clearly enhance our technical skills. Thank you once again. Please, if there are any questions, please just drop them in the comment section or in the chat. And Dr. Farm Isaac Dupont will be willing and ready to assist us. So far, I'm seeing great presentation, insightful presentation, insightful presentation. Thank you, Fam. Very impactful. Thank you so much. So far, that's what I mean. It's coming around. Thank you so much. And as our chairman said, clearly that means maybe PSG and Greater Accra, we are not communicating well enough. That is why we are not getting the impact.
So I think the thrust of the issue there is that when it comes to communication, the one who initiates the action must take responsibility no matter what. You only know what you are doing and you don't know how it is coming across. The people will only respond to what they hear, not what you are saying. So if you say 6 o'clock and I happen to hear 6:20 based on whatever I'm thinking, I will act with the 6:20. When we meet, you may fight me and say, I said 6 o'clock. And it is true. You said 6 o'clock. So in the communication construct, we have something we call the speaker and the listener are always right. Because the speaker knows what he said, and it is true. And the listener knows what he heard, and it is true. When the two of them accept it that way, there is very little argument. And that is how you become more effective with people. Because everybody wants to defend his position. And if I told you, oh, okay, sorry. That is what you heard. Okay, that's not what I meant. This is what I meant. Now we are on the same page. Can we move forward? Other than that, we will just be defending our position. I said this. No, you heard this. Okay. This is the whole idea of non-effective communication. So I think that is the message we want to pass. The one who initiates the communication takes responsibility for the impact. You hear people say things like, I am not responsible for you not understanding what I'm saying. It means you don't care. So why are you communicating in the first place? If you don't care if people understand, why are you saying it? You must care. So you seek the other person's understanding of what you are saying, and then you put yours in the same position for him to understand. Sometimes it can be very frustrating, especially when you don't have time and then you want things to happen quick, and people are not responding. You take the responsibility and say, what else could I have done? I don't have an online platform. Can I go to CES to help me? So I will be leveraging on my engagement, my communication engagement, to access the resource of CES. I cannot tell my boss that, oh, me, I don't have any platform. So this webinar you are talking about, I can't do it. Yes, the company doesn't have a platform. Where can you get a platform? That is where your resourcefulness comes in. So I think that's the message we want to share. Excuses are ways to say, I am not resourceful. That's all.
I should add that to my take-home messages. Excuses are a way to tell our bosses that we are not resourceful.
Yeah, yes, that. You would rather say that I don't know how to do it yet. I haven't done before yet. But I don't know where I can get resources yet. And I am looking at how I will get it through. To say no, it's not possible. No, it has not been done before. Is to say you are not resourceful. You will be there. Somebody will come and do it. Yeah.
Great. Dr. Pham, I think that people are just very impressed, and I've enjoyed the whole presentation. I think you touched on every part, and so then there are no questions. It's just great presentation, insightful, very impactful. These are the comments that come in. I had a question, but then it was answered along the way. So then at a point I started wondering, that means it looks like soft skills are even more important than technical skills. Then then I saw the HR presentation you gave, whereby there are chances you can just have soft skills where there'll be just a 30% chance, and then but at least having the two gives you a 92%, and that's what we all want, the 92%. So then,
exactly.
As much as the soft skills are important, we shouldn't lose fact of the fact that practical ones are important.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
So the slides
And
will
I
be
think
shared.
that anything else you would want to say?
So for me,
Perfect,
I'm
perfect.
excited that we have the opportunity.
And also,
kindly go ahead, please.
I'm listening to you, boss.
I was saying I am excited for the opportunity to share with colleagues what else they can do to even make themselves more impactful. It is good to continue to advance your knowledge technically, and it probably may be even more important to advance your soft skills, especially both the resourcefulness bit and the communication bit, because this is what will take you to the better of yourself, like your best version. Your best version is likely to come out when you're able to push your soft skills on top of your hard skills or technical skills, as I may call it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Chairman, please, is there something else you want to say before we round up?
Well, I said, I just want to thank everybody for their support going into 2023. We more, especially in our fiscal activity. During the first quarter of next year, we are going to continue with our obesity campaign, and we are going to start with ourselves, which means that we are going to have Pharma Olympics or what is. We want to come and exhibit some physical skills as a presenter displayed the skills at the last meet to us. So again, once again, I wish you all well and have a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you all. So please,
Thank
just in case
you.
you guys that in furthering this presentation and you want to enhance your skills, we would share the contact of Isaac Dupont and Blazing
Okay, I
Impact
can
Consult.
actually show the contacts if it is showing already.
Okay. So please, you can pick the there, or you can reach out to one of the executives of PSGH Greater to assist you.
Okay.
Thank you all, and have a good evening. I join my team.
Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your evening as well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year in advance.